The LMC casts a wide net over the Sound Shore to bring you local event info, profiles, and conversations. Recorded in the heart of the village in Mamaroneck Cinemas at the studio on the Avenue, LMC Media brings you the LMC Cast Community Profiles.
Hi, my name is Mike Reynolds, a longtime Mamaroneck resident. Today on Larchmont Cast Community Profile, we're sitting with Andrew Farber. He's the new director of the Larchmont Public Library. Andrew's a library veteran, has led a couple of other libraries at other communities around Westchester. We're going to talk to him about his career journey and what's going on in Larchmont, where he leads a staff of 26. Welcome, Andrew. Congratulations on the new job.
Thanks, Mike. It's a pleasure to be here. I look forward to sharing what the Larchmont Library offers.
Thanks. You started on January 3rd, so you're a veteran now, 3 weeks in or so. How have the first few weeks been, and getting up to speed with staff, programs, that kind of thing?
It's been great so far. There's a lot of building issues. We're going to be doing a lot of construction projects, so I've been kind of getting my head around that. I've met various village staff members, my staff obviously, and getting to know everybody. And getting used to how it works. Every library is different, every community is different. So it's been a learning experience as I get started.
Initial thoughts? You like it here?
So far, so good. It's a great community. I'm familiar with the area. My family worked at other libraries in the area, like I said, at the Mamaroneck Library.
Right.
So I kind of know the area a little bit, and I've known the prior director at Larchmont for many, many years, as well as the prior head of children's at the Larchmont Library. She and I went to library school together and actually took several classes together. So I kind of had a little knowledge of the library beforehand.
Of sorts in a different way. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. And we're going to get into this more a little bit later, but again, as you look at things, what programs do you like the most at the library?
I've got a special place in my heart for the teen programs. For many years at Greenberg, before I became a director, I was the young adult librarian, and I worked very closely with the children's and adult departments. We ran huge programs. We had a manga and anime club where we'd get 50 to 80 kids at a time. We brought an artist in to help teach them to draw. But there's so many different programs at the library. We've got, children's literacy, movies, music, lectures. But we also have things like yoga, qigong, things people don't really think about for the library, but that we, the community members want. We just restarted a mahjong program at the library. And we work closely with the schools. So there's really a tremendous amount going on throughout the day and throughout the months at the library.
Okay. Like I said, we'll get into that a little bit more later. But again, can you give us a little bit of your career path? You started in the library world. How?
So, but very, very young, I took a job at the Ossining Library as a page. I was 14, just got my working papers.
Okay.
As I said, my family has been in libraries. My mother was actually a librarian.
Right.
But I kind of came at it through a weird angle. I was a computer science major. I'd worked at IBM and AT&T.
Okay.
I actually software tested the software that ran the Sydney Australian Olympics when I was at IBM. So
wow. Okay.
I was expecting a more traditional private industry computer science type career, and I had the poor timing of graduating at the height of the dot-com bust in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
I'd gone from working at those industries to working at a restaurant and trying to pay my way through college. And I had worked at Greenberg as both a page and then a clerk, helped with all their technology needs.
Right.
And they let me know they were looking for somebody to come on because computers were really just beginning to come into the libraries at that time. They actually had one computer that was for email, one computer that was for word processing, one computer that was for the internet. Okay. And you couldn't do two on one. You had to move from machine to machine.
Okay.
So I ended up working for the library, and as I worked, I realized a lot of what a librarian does is similar to computer programming, where you're breaking apart a problem, you're breaking it into small chunks, you're trying to solve it.
Right.
You're doing a lot of research. And as I worked closely with the librarians, I realized this is something I could really enjoy. So I went back to school. I graduated with my MLS in 2008 and started at Greenberg now as a librarian. And I started in the young adult department, eventually took over the young adult department, worked there until 2015. At that time, I had an opportunity to go to the Somers Library to run it. Took a chance. It was I actually had to start the job wait for the test to come out, take the test, and be in the top 3 scores to keep the job. So it was a little stressful.
Yeah, okay.
But I loved my time there. And
how long were you over there?
I was there for 5 years. In 2020, I received an offer to work at the Chappaqua Library. And the openings don't happen often. And I knew the prior director, Pam, quite well. I'd worked with her for years. And I took the opportunity. And I was there for about 2 years. But it wasn't the right fit for me. I loved the staff. I loved the community. But all in all, it wasn't the proper fit. So I went back to Greenberg,
right,
where I became the outreach coordinator.
What does that mean?
I would go out into the community. So I would go to the farmers markets. I would go to the fairs and festivals. I would go to block parties. I'd reach out to different homeowners organizations, all to share with them what the library offers. Because so many people think libraries are still just books and magazines and CDs, and that's it. But we really offer such a tremendous range. We also use that opportunity to sign up new patrons for library cards. That was a little bit of a challenge because Greenberg, parts of all the communities around them that aren't incorporated, they have their own libraries, but then other parts are part of us. And so patrons had a hard time understanding who was a Terrytown patron versus a Greenberg patron. You could be on one side of the road and be one, and on the other side of the road be the other. I also ran all the concerts there, which I really enjoyed.
You got some recognition from that, from Westchester Magazine?
Yes, we won. After my first year there, we won the best concert series in Westchester, and I was very proud of that achievement. Right before I left in November, actually, we had the Library Jazz Band. That's a group that plays primarily, they practice in Yonkers. It's a 17-member band, and we had 163 people coming. We had people lined up in the hallways trying to duck in, lined all around the walls trying to listen.
SRO and then some, huh?
Yeah, it was very, very popular.
And does that group, do they make the rounds at library? Is that they're on tour at Chappaqua as opposed to Larchmont?
They may be all around. The libraries communicate with each other.
Right.
We all try to collaborate. We're independent member libraries of consortia, but we all love working in libraries, and we all want to make each other better. So we work together. We recommend bands that have played, different programs. So I was very happy doing that. And then the Larchmont Library position opened up. Laura was an excellent director, did wonderful things for the Larchmont Library, and I'm so happy that she's now at the White Plains Library, and it opened up the Larchmont Library.
Right.
So I applied, and I was chosen, accepted the position, and now I'm 3 weeks in. So it's been a lovely journey.
Okay. In terms of, you've mentioned it, and I was going to ask later, but I'm going to move it up here. Again, we all think, okay, so old school, right? Mm-hmm. It's books, it's tapes of video and audio, it's me coming in and reading the New York Times and the antechamber, if you will. Those things are all there. I mean, are people availing themselves of those opportunities? I mean, you've been doing this for a while now. Mm-hmm. Is that still fundamentally what the library is?
That's still a major portion of it.
Okay.
But libraries have expanded, so we do a lot of programming, as I mentioned.
Right.
We have a lot of digital services now, especially during COVID. That became such an important part of the library. You have access to magazines, ebooks, e-audiobooks through Libby, music, movies, more books through Hoopla. We have Canopy, which is streaming movies. We have language learning. We have Mango Languages that anyone can download for free, and you just sign in with your library card. We do childhood literacy programs. Really, libraries have expanded over the years. We've really tried to keep up with technology.
Right.
We have a laptop that you can borrow. We still have the movies. Okay. Some libraries have gone so far as they've got hotspots, iPads, streaming sticks that you can plug into your TV and stream whatever you want from that service for a few weeks, and then you bring it back to the library. So
your technology background is right in the, is right at the core of where libraries are evolving to, or evolved from, and are still evolving to.
Yeah, it's still a very big part of libraries, and it's become more and more important as the years have gone on. We still have space for physical tutors, but we also have online. You can go to tutor.com, get free one-on-one tutoring, career advice, resume help. So we've really broadened our scope and our range. And during COVID, when a lot of the social services groups were shutting down temporarily, libraries kind of became the de facto group. So we would have people coming in for advice.
Right.
How can I find this legal information? I need a computer.
Yeah.
I need internet. So we're really still one of the last third spaces that you can come and utilize without any expectation of paying anything.
So you have a staff of 26. Do they generalists or specialists therein?
Both. So we do have a lot of part-time employees along with a few full-timers. The librarians kind of specialize. They have different collections they manage. Some may focus more on programming. There's a huge difference between a children's librarian, a teen librarian, and an adult librarian.
Right, sure.
So each of those.
Right.
And then you've got your clerical staff who handles all sorts of different things. They're the people when you first come in and you go to the circulation desk, check your book in and out. They handle the materials, they process it. They're physically bringing the books up and down.
Right.
So there's lots of different specialties, and in the bigger libraries, it really can be very, very different. You can have someone whose whole job is just purchasing material, and in a smaller library, you kind of have to be more of a jack of all trade.
Is Larchmont a small or a mid-sized library?
We're a mid-sized library.
Okay.
We're right comfortably in the middle.
Okay. And if I can ask, how many members do you have, and is it a stable number, or you're planning a patron drive, if you will?
So the last numbers we have officially are from 2023. We're working on the 2024 numbers as we speak. But in 2023, we had over 13,000 patrons that have library cards, and we have about 19,000 people in the village and the town that we support.
Right.
So we have a very high number of library card holders compared to the population.
Right. No, that is the population almost.
Yeah. It's very well used here, and it's very well supported by the community.
And again, I take it, given those numbers, it's, as you mentioned, it's younger kids, it's teens, it's young adults, it's old guys.
Right.
So it's across the board?
Yeah, very multi-generational.
Okay.
Libraries have really tried to focus. There's an old idea that it's all little kids and senior citizens,
right,
but we really try to appeal to everybody.
Right. You mentioned it earlier. How closely you work with all of the elementary, comics, as well as the high school?
Right. Yeah, our children's librarians and our teen librarians work closely with the schools.
Okay.
I know they go out to do school visits. We have equipment that they can bring with them to register kids for library cards.
Right.
Summer reading is still such a big part of schooling that work with them.
Right.
And I found, just from my personal history, that going out into the schools is one of the most effective ways of drawing the kids into the library, especially with teenagers.
Summer reading books. I'm going to say Battle of the Books. I was fortunate enough. A couple of months ago, I think it was, a couple of the ladies that work for you, they headed Larchmont's Battle of the Books entry. I think they came in second. You know about the program. You said before that you've been involved, at least tangentially, in terms of what it does and what it is.
Yes, I was actually part of the team that brought the Battle of the Books into Westchester.
Okay.
So one of my colleagues, Liz Anastasi, and I worked together along with a big group from the youth services from all different libraries in Westchester. Right. But I was actually part of the committee that got it organized for Westchester, and I've supported it ever since in my roles as director. I think it's an important and very useful way to keep kids interested in reading.
And it's interesting because it's younger and older kids as it stands.
Yeah, we have two different teams, a children's team and a teen team, and the kids love it. They're so excited.
You've got to get the older people involved. Can you talk about a couple of the other things? I know that I think, we've talked about here the nuts and bolts, but there's culture of various kinds. I think you did a Christmas-oriented play. There's a gentleman over there, a Mamaroneck resident who has a painting and photo collection that's on display right now.
Yeah, we always have an ongoing art display in our gallery.
Right.
We do all sorts of different musical, cultural things. We even have museum passes. We have about 15 different museums that you can come to the library and check out a museum pass and take it down and go.
Really?
For free. And each museum has slightly different rules about how many people, adults, kids, just general group. But we support the cultural arts greatly. We have writing classes. We have art workshops. So we really try to both be educational and entertainment, and bridge those together.
As we were getting ready for this, you'd mentioned that There's some construction. There's some projects coming up. Can you talk about those a little bit?
Absolutely. We have older set of buildings. It's several buildings that are kind of combined. So in any aging building, we've got roof work that we need to do, window replacements, update the lighting. Excuse me. There's outdoor work, drainage work to prevent flooding, HVAC issues. We have an elevator that needs to be modernized. So there's lots, but that's always the thing with
maintenance
buildings.
action. You got to do that. Keep
exactly.
In terms of things that, as you've gotten here and you're getting your feet wet, so to speak, things that you like, and conversely, things that you think need to be improved upon.
So far, I'm still in the learning process for that. I'm not a manager that likes to jump in and just make change for change's sake.
Okay.
So I'm in the process of learning all the different procedures. I'm working with my business manager to see how all of the purchasing is handled. I'm working with the adult and children's departments. Also working with our Friends organization. They're our fundraising group. The Friends of the Larchmont Library is a wonderful, wonderful organization. We had a meeting with them on Wednesday night, and they really support the library. They're very, very, very active. They handle the concerts currently.
Right.
And so I've been working with them to find things that we can add to the library, be it office space for workers so they're not just trying to work in the middle of a loud, noisy room, funding programs, the whole range. But I'm still in that learning process.
I got you. Okay. We'll come back next time and we'll have some. You'd mentioned earlier your family has some ties to the Mamaroneck Library here. Again, how closely is the Larchmont and the Mamaroneck Library together? And again, I'm assuming town, village, Larchmont, you may get some people that, you need to go to Mamaroneck instead, or if they go to Mamaroneck, you're in the Larchmont district.
Right. Yeah, the libraries all collaborate quite heavily. We have different listservs that, emails are constantly going around. Hey, we've got this performer. They're willing to do a group discount rate. Does anyone want to work together? We share ideas. One of the ideas that another library, the Warner Library, started was going to neighboring libraries and saying, here's a stack of our library cards. If someone that's supposed to be a Tarrytown Library card holder comes in, you can make them a Tarrytown card right on the spot. The patron doesn't have to travel anywhere. Okay. So we've reached out to some of our local libraries to offer the same service. And then once you've gotten your library card, you have to get it where that library is has jurisdiction. But then you can use that library card at any library in Westchester. Okay. And so we see patrons that prefer one library over the other for whatever reason. Right. They get to know the different staff. Sure. But yeah, we work together quite a bit. Jennifer O'Neill is the director over at the Mamaroneck Library. I've known her for quite some time. Right. I haven't had a chance to have a formal discussion with her yet about different
3
projects.
3 weeks, come on, man.
Yeah, I know.
You're slacking. Getting to the end, as you settle in, what attracted you to Larchmont, and were your initial thoughts right? And as you progress, what would you like to accomplish?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've known about the Larchmont Library for quite some time, and I've visited the library in the past. As I said, I knew the prior director for several decades, so I knew about the community. I knew how well supported it was. How much the community appreciates the library, and I think in most communities, at least here in Westchester, the libraries are kind of the jewels of the city or the town, the village. Right. They're well loved. Not to disparage the DMV, but people tend to not like going to the DMV nearly as much as they like coming to the library. Yes. So I've loved all the different communities, and when I saw the possibility of me coming down here, I said, "This is a great library. It's a great community. The board is wonderful. The staff are just really, they work so hard. They know their stuff. They go above and beyond." So hearing one of our staff, Alex, work with a patron today because the apps are changing, and so she was helping this older lady. Really, but the kindness, the patience. Right. Just in fact, one of my first few days, I was walking by Trinity Church, and a lady came running out, stopped me, and said, "Are you the new director? Right. I recognize you from the picture." And she said, "I just want to let you know, when I started here, I had a printing emergency. I desperately needed to get something printed, and I went over to the library, and they were so courteous, so helpful, so patient." And that's the staff we have there, and that really drew me to the library.
I think you've said that this might be your last stop. It sounds like a place that you like, and expectations are that you're going to like it more as you go along.
Absolutely. I may look young, but I've spent many years in public service already,
Right.
And I'm lucky enough that in just over a decade I'll be eligible to retire. So I suspect this will be my my last stop in my library journey. I've loved all the libraries I've worked at. I've worked at so many more, just
Right.
even as part-time reference staff, webmaster, clerks. And as I said, my mother was the director of Mamaroneck several years ago. So my library is into family. My family is into libraries.
Right.
And it's just a wonderful career. It's a wonderful, wonderful location. If this is my last stop.
Well, Andrew's going to be around for a while, so come by, say hello, visit the library. Get a card if you don't have one. Visit more often. And I just want to say thanks to our guest, Andrew Farber. Wish him the best in the new gig. And thanks for coming. Thanks
Absolutely.
For coming by.
Thank you, Mike. And just one last thing I want to mention. I don't want to forget to say this. We have a tremendous amount of book groups. So if you are looking for a book group to join, if you are looking for a book group to suggest, please contact your library. We even have pop-up book groups where we'll have a different theme, and we'll do 2 or 3 sessions, and then we might move to another one. So check out the library. Go to our website, larchmontlibrary.org. All of our events, our resources are right there. As I said, we have museum passes, streaming services, as well as all of our traditional library material.
Andrew knows his stuff. Listen to what he just said. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a great night.
This is Mike Reynolds for Larchmont Cast Community Profile. Thank you for watching and listening. We'll see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the LMC Cast Community Profiles, produced at LMC Media's studio on the Avenue. Visit lmcmedia.org to book your time in this state-of-the-art convenient location, walkable from the Metro North train station on Mamaroneck Avenue. You can also support this nonprofit media center at lmcmedia.org/donate.